Hey everyone. Alright, so before I go into everything, I guess what we need to make first are bookmarks. Please ignore the entire backyard. Gannicus! Yeah, sorry. I am outside and my dog is running circles around me. We just went on a walk. So, I need to go to the infamous shed to get my arts and crafts supplies. I am embarrassed to say this, but welcome to the shed where all my arts and crafts are in boxes. So let me put this down and try and figure out what to wear. Smartly enough, I labeled everything in the fall and winter, so I should find it soon. Let's keep looking, right? So I don't know if you guys can see that up there. Now that I usually put all my bag and board supplies up there. It's easy for me to remember. But let's see. Let's see if it's in there. Oh, I think it's in here. This is heavier than usual. This is much heavier than usual. Yes! Yes, because I need to write shit down. I've been looking for this for forever. I really need to write things down. Okay, so my bag and board stuff is here, and all of the comics that I've already cut up are in here. We're gonna use these to make the bookmarks. Let's do it. Okay, so a couple of things. Now that I have my comics, let me give you some guidelines that I usually follow when I make bookmarks with comics. First, we're not gonna just cut up anything. Please do not just cut up anything you have, because you never know. I have some comics that have been sitting for years, decades even, and I just found out how much they're worth. I'm so happy I didn't do nothing with them, okay? You gotta be careful. So, one of my guidelines outside of not cutting up anything, one, if you think something is valuable, make sure you have 2 and 3 copies of it. It sounds expensive, which is why I don't do this a lot. I don't just make comics for everyone. But certain runs, you know, if you have certain things, they're a little expensive. So make sure you have a double, you have a duplicate, or a triple, okay? What else? If you've already cut up a comic, keep it. So this stack is years of me cutting up comics, right? And whenever I get the inkling to do this again, I just go back to the stack. Or if I'm wrapping something or making a poster, I just go back to the same stack and go into this first before I go look through, you know, anything else. We're trying to be sustainable here, right? Yes. If you're gonna cut up a comic by a person of color or a black person, like I said, make sure you have duplicates, okay? They are not easy to come by. I've only cut up 1 copy of 1 comic, and that is because I wrapped this short box for somebody. Well, I'm gonna say I wrapped this short box for Bookish. If you ever go on her page, she's super dope. She's the founder of Be Too Weird. I wrapped this short box for her, and it was a short box of strictly black women and comics, but most of it was Far Sector. So, and at that time, this was like 2 years ago. So Far Sector is big. That run is iconic. I cut up a number 8, and it was my only one, and I had difficulties replacing it. Okay? Don't do that, okay? Only do it under dire circumstances and you have no other choice. There was a full panel image in the Far Sector number 8 that I wanted to use, and I didn't see anything else, okay? So that's why I used it, but I replaced it, so yay. Another thing, use these free comics, DC Connect or the Marvel ones. So if you go in your local comic book shop and you go and get something, right? Usually if you ask, you can ask for it or they'll give it to you automatically. They have the free comics and you could do that. okay? I have a bunch of them here. So this one is the Marvel preview. I just showed you the DC one. I have about 5 or 6 of them in here. Usually they'll have little covers and you can use that, you know? Like, this could be used for a bookmark. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy. Once again, we're trying to be sustainable with this. Another thing I do, okay. So if anyone's ever gone to Free Comic Book Day, you know that obviously free comics, right? Some comic book shops, they tell you you can only get like 1 or 2. Some are very generous and you can walk out of there with 10 or 15. For me, what I like to do is hit up about 3-4 shops, right? So me and my family walk out with like 50 comics. And in here, in this Harley Quinn short box, is nothing but Free Comic Book Day comics in here. Nothing but. So, and usually we have like 3 or 4 copies of something. So this is also a giant stash for me, right? All it takes is time. You go into these comic book shops and just setting aside Free Comic Book Day. But yeah, like, there are free ways to do this. Don't spend your money on a lot of things. I am big on that. Making sure you do not spend a lot of money on these things. They're going to be personal, they're going to be custom, and they're not going to cost you a lot. Okay, so what are the things that you're going to need outside of this? Okay, first things first, you are going to need cardstock. You can try computer paper, you can try construction paper. I found that cardstock works best. And also, like, a pack of cardstock is going to last you forever because you can get like 8 to 10 bookmarks off of 1 page. So you can put in that little bit of investment, but it means that you'll have a stash forever. Next, the laminator. That laminator that you see is a very shitty laminator. The rolling pins are diagonal. It'll do for now because it was only like $40. But in a perfect world, I would get one that's like where the rolling pins are right on top of each other. Maybe if I set up that Etsy shop, I'll do that. Next, you're going to need Mod Podge and a round cutter corner. A round corner cutter. Those, you can really get any one that you see. I don't have a preference. I've used them all. So far, it is what it is, right? Scissors, brush, a pen, and a pencil. Really, this is just like the absolute basics. If you do anything else, that's just extra on top. Alright, here is where you see the absolute chaos of my mind. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys 2 ways to do this, where one way is just 1 full page, 1 panel, and then the second way is you kind of cutting it up and, you know, creating your own little piece of artwork that you have spanned across a couple bookmarks. So as you can see, I'm cutting out a couple of panels that I think will look really good for these comics. This one right here that says Cthulhu or whatever that word is, that would have been nice, but to be honest, it's a little too big for a bookmark. So you're looking for things where, like, in the right size would be absolutely perfect. Between like 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So here you can see we're going through the previews. Some of these would look really good, like this Blade. Yeah, just flip through these pages. Oh, by the way, that comic was great. And Storm as well. It is a shame though that we don't have a black writer for Storm. I don't think we've had one. We need one. They've been doing it for everyone else. Okay, so as you can see, we're going through all of these, but this right here I'm specifically taking because I want to make specific bookmarks for my B2 ear peoples. Yes, I am shouting them out quite a bit, okay? They have helped my socialization so much. And then, yes, we're gonna finally do these Bob's Burgers ones. I always have a set of Bob's Burgers bookmarks because it's one of my favorite shows. As you can see, I've made them before. But I'm specifically looking for Marshmallow because, yeah, Marshmallow's my girl. And I love Bob's infatuation with her. Like, how is that not perfect? So yeah, wrapping this up, and now we're gonna start. Alright, so this is the first way to do this. I feel like this is the easiest way. It's one of the first ways I did it. You know, just dipping my toes into this. You're going to take a page that you like, an entire page. No need to cut it up. Just make it look neat around the edges. And get the Mod Podge. And then you're going to brush it onto the side that you want to adhere to the cardstock. So as you can see, I start out with this brush, the sponge brush, and I realize I'm not digging it. I usually prefer you know, an artist brush, even though I don't take care of them. I shouldn't be doing this. But yes, you are going to use the Mod Podge, stick it on one side, and then just straighten it up. Make sure you get it as flat as possible, because you can have, like, you know, little ripples in it, and then that means going into it and fixing it. So you try to flatten it out as much as possible, and then you're gonna put the Mod Podge on top of it. All right, so this is for those who are feeling creative, they're feeling inspired, they want to create, you know, a little masterpiece. This is what I like to do. I do it on just about anything. So you're basically creating a collage of sorts, and I like to go with themes, but honestly, it can literally be whatever you want. You can take comics from all over the place, some of your favorite comics. In this one that I'm creating, it's more of a Black Girl Magic thing where I'm taking all Black female superheroes, and they're all in here. So I think I put Storm, Moon Girl, Vixen, there's somebody else from Black Hammer. Yes, so I kind of like take those four and create this kind of cool collage with it. There are no rules to this. It's whatever looks good to you. For tips, I like to kind of plan out where I think it's gonna go. But to be completely honest, what you see me doing now, I maybe kept 40-50% of it. It ends up changing as you cut, as you trim. You look at it, and as you put it down, you're like, I don't really like that. So really go with the flow, you know, vibe to it, see what moves you. And here are the final touches. So I'm only showing you guys one side because honestly you don't need to see the second side. You just need to make sure that you do the second side so that when you do your bookmarks, when you flip them, it's still a comic and it's a different comic. So yeah, you get that extraness. Okay, so what you need now is to measure out the size of your bookmarks. I usually do between 1.5 and 2 inches depending on what I do. So if you're doing a full page, I would say do 1.5 inches as you see here. Now, if you don't have this paper cutter that's gonna come up soon, you can do all of this with a pair of scissors. You know, you make the lines as you can see. Or like myself, if you have lots of arts and crafts, you get a paper cutter. Or you don't trust yourself with scissors too often, because that is my truth. Alright, now we have to trim them because obviously nobody wants a long ass bookmark. So these I kind of just did, I think 4 or 5 inches, nothing too big. They add length. They add length, you know, when you do the lamination process. Okay, so for these bookmarks, I decided to make them 2 inches instead of 1.5. I felt like I would get more out of the art if I just opened it up a little more. So I'm marking it with a pen this time, so I can see it better. And then I'm going to cut it here. Once again, you can use scissors and just make the lines down the page. You know, we can do them all kinds of ways. Alright, now that we have everything cut out, it is time for the lamination process. As you can see, I'm messing around with it because it's been a while since I've used it. Like I said, I only do this maybe once a year. So now I'm testing it to see if, one, it works, and then two, if I need to do anything. So laminating sheets, I'm going to do a test run and write a little message. Okay, so when you're laminating, and this is something it took me like 1 or 2 tries to realize because I'm smart, but not always. Make sure that you have space around your page for the laminator to seal the plastic, or else it's just pointless, right? So just make sure that you have some clear space around the edges. Let me tell y'all, I do not like this laminator, but she was on her best behavior. So now that we got that test run done, we're gonna do this. Now in this video, you're gonna see I'm gonna make a mistake. And that is because usually I do this with a glue stick. I will put a dab of glue on the bookmark and then stick it to the page so that it doesn't move, so that I could put 6 or, I could put about 6 of them on here. But unfortunately, that is the one art supply I did not have. So I ended up having to reset this and only put 4 on here. All right, now that we have them all, I'm happy. In a perfect world, I would have put more on these laminating sheets, but we did what we had to do. All right, so now it is time to cut. And I would love to tell you, hey, guess what? You're gonna do this with a few, like a centimeter or a millimeter or something. No, this was done by eyeballing it. I wish I could say that I am the most meticulous person in the world, and in some areas I am. But a lot of times when I'm just doing artwork, I'm just going with the flow. So I'm looking at it, I'm eyeballing it. What size do I want the edges of the laminator to be? And I'm just cutting. I can't tell. Look, if you have $30, $40, get one of these paper cutters because it makes your life so much easier. But once again, you don't need it. You can definitely just do this with scissors. I definitely had to fix up some edges with the scissors after this. All right, so now these are the final touches. You know what makes it feel like it's professional, but we all know that it's not, because it came from the chaos of your brain. Speaking for myself. So you're going to use the round corner cutter and you are going to round out the edges. I don't have a preference. If you have one, use that one, but as you can see, I'm going to use whichever side cuts it the cleanest. There's going to be one bookmark that gives me problems, and like I said, that's the one that I had to go in and fix, like with scissors. So please note, you don't need this round cutter whatever this is called. You can use scissors and make it what you want. You can make waves all around this. You can make zigzags all around this. Do whatever makes your heart fill with joy. These are special to you. These are something you create every time you look into a book. You're gonna say, hey, I did that. Forgive whatever this shot looks like, okay? Okay, so I just finished all of the bookmarks. Yay! So, to be honest, I don't even remember how many I have in here. I think 20, somewhere between 15 and 20. I know that much. So let's go into tips and hopefully, things you can avoid. So like I said, I am not the biggest fan of the laminator that I have, but it gets the job done. It definitely gets the job done. I did these at one pass and they are sturdy as hell. So like I said, whenever I get the money, I'm gonna probably get a laminator that, the 2 rolling pins, they are flat. They're not like stacked diagonally. because I feel like those will make them better. What else? I was nervous, so I made a bunch of mistakes, and they will be pointed out. But these, if you can, remember, you don't need this. You can have the sharp. You can have the sharp edges if you want, but for me, I like having them rounded, you know, just, I don't want to accidentally brush up against it and hurt myself. So, you know, like I said, you don't have to, or you can do it with scissors. Like, all of this can be done with scissors. Not a big deal. And then, like, if I were to sell these, because I have been thinking about doing that, if I were to sell them, I'd make, you know, more severe measurements. These would be organized much better than you saw, right? But these are mostly for me. I was gonna give these to friends, but I think I'm gonna take like the best 5 of these and do a little giveaway on here. So what I'm gonna do is the best 5. So I'll take like 2 of my no, that's marshmallow. I'm keeping that one. Sorry. But I'll take like 2 of my Bob's Burgers ones and like 5 of the Black Girl Magic ones. And I'll do a giveaway. So 7 of them, right? And I'll just send out 7. So sure. No, let's do 8 and 2 winners. Okay. So we're going to do a giveaway. 2 winners, 4 each, 4 bookmarks each. You have to be subscribed, like, comment, what is your favorite comic, and or what is a comic you're looking forward to, and then I'll put it in a random name generator, and then we'll post that. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. This turned into an impromptu giveaway. Look what happens when you wait till the end of the video. Alright, well, this has been fun. I finally can stop using everything around me. I have bookmarks now. And now we can get into some books and talk about them. So, love y'all. Later.